Introduce Pat Fabian. He's our SPC Vice Chairman and Armstrong County Commissioner. Again, thank you, SPC, for your great work on this event. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was walking in here a little late today because I had a public meeting and salary board in Armstrong County, and Tom, my friend from the Penn State Extension, who I run into occasionally below my office, said, "Hey, you're the closer." And I said, "Wow." And I wanted to tell you a story the last time I closed a game. So it was a college baseball player, middle infielder, my freshman, sophomore, junior year, going into my senior year. I always asked my head coach, "Hey, I'd like to close this year." And the answer was always no. And throughout each season, I'd throw him little digs. I'm feeling pretty good today. I can handle this last inning. Well, finally, my senior year, we come back from Florida. The staff, the regular pitching staff, was strained a little bit, and he called my number, 4-3 game, top of the ninth. We're winning, and strike out the first two guys. This is going well. 4 straight balls, walk the runner. Next guy hits a 2-run homer, 5-3, we lose the game. Prior to that, he came out and got me out and said, "That's why you didn't close, Fabian." So, for the last 3.5 years. But anyway, I'm going to give it another shot today. So as we end our day here, I hope that you found the Regional Broadband Connectivity Summit informative and encouraging today. The lack of access to high-speed broadband is a problem in many of the communities throughout our region. Without broadband in our region, high-speed broadband, businesses, households, public institutions cannot prosper. I represent rural Armstrong County, and the lack of high-speed broadband connectivity, the lack of is a huge problem. We knew it was a problem before COVID. But what COVID really highlighted was this issue, and the issue of when our employees had to go to remote work, it was an issue. When our students had to go home and do remote learning, it was an issue. And then on a county-wide level, once we get outside of our business parks or our populated areas, it's an issue. And I saw one of the slides today, you talk about maybe population decline. I know for a fact that that's why we lose people, especially since COVID, because of the lack of high-speed broadband. And I, as a former therapist, I always like to self-disclose. My wife and I are fortunate enough to have 2 properties, 14 miles apart. One's in a populated area, Manor Township. The other one's in a remote part, 14 miles away in a remote part of Armstrong County. We spent, prior to COVID, 50% of our time at each location. It was an even split. My wife, after COVID, loses her job in corporate America after 22 years. The market came back around about a year later, gets a job out of San Diego with a tech company, so she's working from home. Till this day, we are at our second populated resident 95% of the time because we don't have that connectivity. And I consider myself fortunate when I say I'm fortunate that we had 2 locations to go to, but it's often as a county commissioner, I hear about, those folks that do remote work or don't have the ability to do or can't take a job because they don't have the internet or broadband accessibility throughout our rural parts of our counties. And it would definitely help grow our county for sure. But at SPC, one of the main reasons I wanted to get involved is that we believe that working together with private and public partners across local, state, federal levels, that we can take the lead to make this vision for affordable and equitable broadband across access a reality in every part of Southwest Pennsylvania. Today we've learned a lot about efforts and initiatives led by many different agencies and programs that share the SPC goal. There's a lot of work to do, but what we've heard here today, there's also a lot of opportunities. I heard that word over and over today, partnerships, that all of us can pursue together to advance broadband throughout the Southwest Pennsylvania region. I know from being involved in our meetings, SPC is committed to keeping Southwest Pennsylvania connected and moving forward and seizing on these numerous opportunities discussed today and within the federal bipartisan infrastructure, I love that word, bipartisanship, infrastructure law and state programs that we learned about today. And before we adjourn, folks, I'd be remiss if we didn't thank our sponsors that were generous and made this happen today. So let's give them a round of applause. And make sure you visit them when out there at the tables if you hadn't already before you leave today. Also want to thank some special sponsors, which are Buchanan, Ingersoll and Rooney, Crown Castle, and Butler County Chamber of Commerce, who has umbrellas out there, but it's not raining, but if something happens between now and then, make sure you grab one of those, and there's not too many left. Also, special thanks to all the panelists and moderators today that gave up their time. A lot of them came from outside the region to come here and give us their expertise. So let's give them a round of applause as well. And I'm done. So I hope that went better than 20 years ago. But travel safe. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your What's that? Yeah. And thank you for your participation today.